Being aware that the only thing standing between you and your goal is your choice to take a step forward can be one of the hardest things in life. It's not time, it's not luck, and it's not even skill. You are the one who is choosing right now to push yourself to do better. You shouldn't wait for the world to give you the right time. This was also what the Stoics thought. Epictetus taught us that we can't change what happens in the outside world, but we can change how we react to it. Today we're going to talk about one of the most important things you can do: choose to act like you're the best right now. We all have doubts, that voice in our heads that tells us we're not good enough or ready yet. What if I told you you didn't have to wait? The truth is that you don't become the best by waiting for the right circumstances. Instead, you become the best by believing that you already have what it takes. It was important for Stoics like Marcus Aurelius to remember every day to focus on what they could control and always act in a good way. It means being grateful for the power you have now, even if you don't know what the future holds. In today's movie, we'll talk about a way of thinking that can completely change how you deal with your problems, your goals, and your daily life. There's no need to act like someone you're not. It's time to reach your full potential. We're going to talk about how acting like you're the best isn't just a change of mind, but the key to getting everything you've been wanting. If you like what we're doing here, please click the subscribe button. You can do it for free, and it really helps the station. Now let's begin. The strength of making the choice to be the best. Your life starts to change the moment you decide to reach your full potential. It's not about hope for the best chance or for things to get better in the outside world. To be the best form of yourself every day, you have to make a choice inside yourself. Like the Stoics, who say that our real power lies in how we choose to live our lives, this idea makes sense. The important thing is not what happens to you, but how you handle it, as Epictetus said. That's how you start your journey to being the best. Being perfect or better than other people isn't the point of this way of thinking. The point is to set a bar for yourself and make a promise to keep growing. The Stoics knew this very well. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, always told himself to be good, not for praise or fame, but because it was the right thing to do. It was his belief that every day was a chance to do his best, not against other people but against his own ability. If you want to be the best, that doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes or face problems. There are many problems in life, and the Stoics knew that. But they also thought that these problems were what made us who we are. If you want to be the best, you have to face the problems head-on and use them as chances to get smarter and stronger. This is where things start to change in your life. This is not the time to wait for the perfect moment. This is the time to choose to act with purpose and confidence right now. When you make this choice, everything else falls into place. Your standards go up, your deeds line up with your goals, and you get closer to becoming the person you know you can be. That's what it means to want to be the best. Why it's important to act like you're the best. I don't mean strut around like you're better than everyone else. When I say act as if you are the best, you don't have to be haughty or look down on other people to act like you're the best. It's about setting the highest standards for yourself and aiming for excellence, not to get approval from other people but for your own growth. For this reason, when I say act as if you're the best, I mean think like someone who is already awesome. Imagine that you are the best athlete or artist in the world. They are confident without being cocky. It's calm and sure, and it's based on discipline, hard work, and always getting better. The way Marcus Aurelius led people comes to mind. He didn't think of himself as perfect or better than other people. Instead, he saw himself as a life student who was always trying to get better and do the right thing. We want people to think like this. You don't have to act like you know everything or never make a mistake to look like you're the best. It means going into it with the idea that you can handle anything that comes your way. What you do is based on this idea. You act like the best person in the world when you think you are. People notice how sure you are of yourself when you walk. The Stoics would tell us that this trust doesn't come from outside sources, but from within. You feel good when you know you're living your life according to your ideals and giving it your all every time. The main difference is that arrogance wants to put you above other people, while looking like you're the best wants to help you reach your fullest potential. It's about being humble and grounded while aiming for excellence. You're not trying to be perfect, like the Stoics said, but you are trying to make progress. You are always working on yourself, learning and going forward. What if I'm not the best? It's easy to see why some of you might be asking, but I'm not the best, I'm not even close. How can I act like I am? Some people feel like they're not at the top, but that's okay. You don't have to be the best to act like you are. This way of thinking is great because it works even when you're not on top. You don't have to be fake or crazy to act like you're the best. To reach your full potential, you need to change the way you think, and that starts with how you see yourself. This is very much in line with Stoicism. The Stoics think that we are in charge of how we think and how we deal with problems in life. Because of this, you can choose to act with confidence, focus and purpose, even if you're not at your best right now. These are qualities that the best shows. You start to think you're the best when you act like you are. You start to become what you believe when you believe it. This isn't wishful thought or false confidence, it's a real change in your mind that makes you act differently. The Stoics taught us that what we think affects how we act, and that when we act like we can do something, we actually can. The Stoics were very aware of the idea of a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you go into a job interview feeling nervous, questioning yourself, and like you're not good enough, you're probably not going to do well. But when you go in though, if you believe you are the best person for the job, carry yourself with confidence, talk clearly about your skills, and know your worth, everything changes. That change in attitude will help you get ready for the next chance. Even if you don't get the job, you've worked on your confidence and toughness, which will help you in the real world. While you think, I'm not the best, the Stoics would tell you, that's not the point. You should act like you are. In this way, you raise yourself and make your deeds match the person you want to become. The goal isn't to be perfect, but to always strive for excellence, which is what Stoic philosophy tells us. Imdulcus, torzes ze, eindenfein dolly, unten tobielen solid sestromai, pinefong tanser folly, yell, growth that never stops. The Stoics thought it was important to keep growing, which is exactly what this way of thinking is all about. If you act like you're the best, it doesn't mean you think you're perfect or that you can stop getting better. In fact, it's not true. It's about making a promise to learn new things, be disciplined, and get better all the time. Thought leader Seneca said, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. This means that you can always improve, even if you're already very good. Never stop getting better. This is true for the best people in every area, whether they are great at sports, running a business, or thinking deeply about things. They still learn about life. This same process of control is what you do when you act like you're the best. You're stating, I'm going to carry myself like the best, and I'm going to put in the work to become the best. This way of thinking comes from being humble, not being proud. The Stoics really believed in being humble. Marcus Aurelius was one of the most powerful people in history, but he always told himself to stay grounded and keep getting better. He didn't see his job as the end of the line. Instead, he saw it as his duty to always be the best version of himself. You're doing the same thing when you think this way. You want to be better today than you were yesterday, because you know that growth is something you do for the rest of your life. When you act like you're the best, you hold yourself to higher standards. It means being in charge of your own growth in every part of your life. The best way to do this in relationships is to ask yourself, what would the best version of me do? What would the best partner, friend, or parent do? You don't have to act perfect, you just have to keep trying to get better and be the best version of yourself. It means taking care of your health like you're in the best shape of your life. If you thought you could reach peak health, how would you take care of your body? What decisions would you make about what you eat, how much you exercise, and your habits? Self-discipline and making decisions that are good for you in the long run are important parts of the Stoic way of life. Reality comes from practice. If someone tells you to act as if you're the best, you might feel like you're acting at first. In a way it is. But here's the truth, what you do over and over again becomes your life. The Stoics knew this very well. The great Seneca said, "We become what we repeatedly do." Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. This means that the more you do something, like being confident, disciplined, or strong, it becomes a part of who you are. Let us break this down. It might feel weird to act like you're the best all the time. You might be wondering, who am I to carry myself with such confidence? But the great thing about people is that we are very flexible. The Stoics think that what we think and do shapes who we are. When you act with confidence all the time, you start to feel more secure. If you live a controlled life, you will become more disciplined over time. You don't have to fake it forever, you just have to practice the traits you want to have until they come naturally. It's kind of like getting stronger. It's hard and even painful to lift weights at first, but as you keep doing it, you get stronger. It works the same way to act like you're the best. It becomes less of an act and more of a habit over time as you strengthen that way of thinking each time you do it. The Stoics knew how this worked. Epictetus told his students over and over that we can choose how to react to the world. When we do good things, we match our inner selves with the kind of person we want to become. Say you want to feel more comfortable around other people. You might feel weird at first, like you're putting on a show. Still, you start to feel more confident the more you practice standing tall, speaking clearly, and talking to other people. At some point, it stops feeling like an act, and you realize that you're more at ease in these settings. It's true in every part of life. As time goes on and you keep making healthy choices, you'll automatically live a better life. When you get good at managing your money, you'll finally be able to live without worrying about money. As Stoics, we learn that we don't have to wait for things to change. We can make them happen by the things we do every day. The key is to be consistent. You can't just do it once and expect things to change. It's about getting up every day and practicing the traits that help you reach your fullest ability. What began as a conscious effort becomes your reality over time. The Stoics said that the best way to become the best version of yourself is to act like it all the time. What you do shapes who you are, and who you are shapes your life. Always work on it, because the things you do every day shape your world. Facing weakness. Meekness. It's easy to think that acting like you're perfect means ignoring or hiding your flaws. In fact, it's the other way around. Being brave enough to face your flaws head-on and use them as chances to improve is part of acting like you're the best. And the Stoics were very good at this. They taught that being honest with yourself and knowing your flaws are important for growth. Aristotle said, "You have power over your mind, not over outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. That knowing where we fall short is part of that power, not to feel bad about it, but to learn and grow from it. In any area, the best people aren't the ones who think they're perfect. People like that know their flaws better than anyone else, but they don't let those flaws define them. Instead, they use them to push themselves to keep getting better. The Stoics thought that problems and pain were normal parts of life and should be accepted. Epictetus told us that we have to be tough when we face problems on the way to success. We can work on our weaknesses with the growth mindset when we can see them clearly. To put it another way, ignoring your flaws won't make them go away. That's because they tend to get worse and bigger over time. It makes you stronger to be aware of your flaws and take steps to fix them. For the Stoics, being weak wasn't the same as failing. They saw it as a chance to do a ritual that would help them strive for greatness. If you face your weaknesses, you can get stronger, more focused, and better at what you do. Being humble is needed for this process. It's not a sign of perfection to act like you're the best. It means you're dedicated to growth all the time. You can be sure of your skills while also being aware of what you need to work on. The Stoics, especially Seneca, wrote a lot about how important it is to learn from everything, even when things go wrong. Seneca actually thought that mistakes and failures are often the best ways to teach us something. They show us where we need to improve and push us to get the skills or mindset we might not have yet. The important thing is to not feel bad about your flaws, but to see them as the way you grow. Because you're honest with them and want to get better, you are in charge of your own improvement. There is real strength in being able to face what's holding you back and work to get past it. The Stoic way of thinking is to see the problems you face in life, even your own flaws, as opportunities to grow as a person. It's not a lie to act like you're the best when you do that. You're instead showing that you're strong enough to face your flaws, learn from them, and become the person you want to be. You will get further with this way of thinking, just like the Stoics did. They accepted their flaws, learned from them, and kept going on their way to being perfect. Raise the people around you. You're not just making your own life better when you act like you're the best. It's about making everyone else even better. Sympathy, the idea that we are all linked and our deeds have an effect on the whole, was important to the Stoics. People are more likely to aim for excellence when you do. People around you naturally feel better when you're confident, disciplined, and dedicated to growth, whether you're with family, friends, or co-workers. Think about what it's like to be around someone who walks with purpose and clarity. Their energy makes you feel good. They don't have to say it, but what they do and being there shows others what's possible. Setting a good example is how you can persuade others. People who are dealing with self-doubt or uncertainty can look up to you when you act like you're the best. You show them that problems can be solved by having the right attitude and keeping your attention on what's important. When it comes to competition, the Stoics didn't care about it the way we do these days. They believed in helping other people become good and wise. You're not only lifting yourself when you raise your standards and aim for excellence, you're also inspiring those around you to do the same. When you act like you're the best, you show traits that other people admire and want to copy. You will not only make your own life better, but you will also help the people around you grow and succeed. As the Stoics would have wanted, it's a chain reaction of good things happening. How to deal with failing. And we all have to deal with failure, and the Stoics knew this very well. They taught me that failure is not something to be afraid of, but something that I have to deal with all the time. Not being able to do something makes you do it more. What was in the way becomes the way. This means that failure is not the opposite of success, it's a step on the way to success. It's not a sign of confidence to act like you're the best. It means you are strong when you fail and know that every loss is a chance to learn and improve. Focusing on what you can control was important to the Stoics. You can't always change what happens, but you can change how you handle loss. Failure shouldn't be seen as a loss. Instead, it should be seen as input that tells you what went wrong and how you can fix it. Epictetus told his students that we should expect to fail sometimes and use that to make us stronger. If you fail, don't give up. Instead, keep going again with more information and experience. When you have a Stoic attitude and fail, you stop seeing it as something you should avoid. Instead, you see it as a chance to get better at being patient and flexible. In business, sports, or philosophy, the best people aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who know how to get back up stronger every time. The Stoics said that what makes us strong is how we get back up after falling. And Remember that failure is not the end of the story the next time you fail. It's a very important step on your way to becoming great. You shouldn't just act like you're the best once. Every day they do it. The Stoics thought that consistent, well-thought-out behavior was very important. In his thoughts, Marcus Aurelius told himself to go into each day with a clear goal in mind. In his writing, he said, "When you wake up in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Setting a goal to be the best version of yourself every day is how you get there. When you think this way, you don't have to wait until you feel ready." The Stoics knew that people who wait for the right time often don't do anything. They taught us to start with what we have and where we are. You don't have to be perfect, but you should always do the right thing. So every day, act like you're the best, and you'll develop the traits that will make you who you are. What you did on purpose at first becomes a part of your personality over time. Don't forget that this isn't about being cocky or trying to be someone you're not. And it's about making sure your deeds match your potential and always trying to do your best. Whether it's if you want to live a more meaningful life, act like you're the best at everything: your job, your relationships, and your personal growth. The Stoics taught that we are in charge of what we do, and what we do shapes our lives. So make this way of thinking a habit. How would the best version of me approach this day should be the first thing you ask yourself every morning. This question will help you take steps toward the life you want to live. Thanks for watching Wisdom World. If you want to keep going on this path of growth and strength, watch one of the movies that are shown on your screen. Keep your cool and stay strong. See you in the next one.